Hey, Randy, you there? About this coming week. You know we have that 5-day holiday break. I'm going on a trip with a friend of mine, just letting you know.
Huh? Really? I thought you were going to visit your folks.
Huh? Was I?
Yeah, I remember you saying something about that. That you were looking forward to seeing your folks? You said your friend back home had a baby, so you were going to stay with your folks and visit her.
Oh yeah, right. I plan to go see my friend and afterward check in with my folks and then meet up with my other friend for the trip. Kinda busy, I know, but, you know.
Oh, I see. Not much time to see your folks. Won't they be a bit disappointed?
Yeah, well, I talk to them constantly, so they won't mind. I had a really hectic schedule and I forgot to mention all that. I was just thinking about the trip.
Oh yeah, right.
My last day at work is on Thursday, so right after I work, I plan to drive to my folks' place, check out my friend, and then meet up with my friend for the trip.
So, you'll be gone the whole week? Back on Tuesday or so?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Alright then. Have fun and say hi to your folks for me.
You got it. Alrighty, all packed and ready to go.
All packed, huh?
Yeah, ready for some rest and relaxation.
Right. Hope you have fun.
Thanks. Off to my folks' place and then meet up with my friend for that beach resort. Can't wait.
Hey, Andrea! Have you arrived at the resort?
Oh, hi, Randy. Yeah, just checked in. What's up?
There's something I need to tell you. It's urgent!
Sorry. My friend and I were just about to take a dip in the ocean. Can this wait?
This is no time for swimming! I said this is urgent and I mean it!
Come on, Randy. I need this time to relax. Can we do this later? I really don't need this right now. It's my R&R.
I'm sorry to interrupt your little love affair. Your parents were in a traffic accident.
Huh? Excuse me? What are you talking about?
I'm really being super patient here. I thought I could keep my cool, but I'm actually a bit confused. Should I just continue to stay calm, or should I just go off the deep end? But, considering your parents, I'm gonna remain composed.
Right. You're not making much sense. What's this about my folks? An accident, did you say?
Yes. Your folks went out shopping and this car came out of nowhere and skidded toward them. They smashed into a guardrail.
What? Are you serious?
Absolutely serious. They were transferred to a nearby hospital.
They were... what? I really can't believe this. Are you making all this up or something? Trying to get me to cut my vacation short? And this nonsense about me having an affair or something.
Yeah, well, let's leave that aside for now. What we should be worrying about is your parents. I'm not making all this up. They're in the ER now and the doctors are operating on them. I need you to get back here as soon as possible.
I can't do that. Besides, I don't believe you. Randy, pulling one of your silly pranks to get back at me. I really don't need this now. I'm resting and relaxing. How many times do I have to tell you? I'm not in the mood for your stupid pranks.
It's no prank! I'm telling you the truth!
I'm on vacation and I don't want any interruptions. I'm going to block you. See you in a few days.
Maybe you didn't hear me right. The accident, your parents, it's all true. This is no joke. Call the Memorial Hospital downtown and they'll verify it. At least do that if you don't believe me. Andrea, pick up! I can't believe you. You really blocked me. Where the hell are you staying? At least give me the address.
Hey, Randy. I'm home. You there? Wow, what a vacation. I needed that. I unblocked you. Hey, you there? I just turned off the exit. Should be home in about 30 minutes. And for your information, I stopped by my folks' place and they were there. No problem.
Oh yeah? That beach resort was way out of the way from your parents' place. Weird that you'd be able to see your folks and already be back. You didn't even stop by last Thursday, did you? Oh, and how was your friend? Cute baby, I bet. Oh, and by the by, I'm at your parents' place right now.
Huh? You're where?
Your younger brother, who lives pretty far away, as you know, arrived a few days ago, too.
Huh? Why is he here?
Have you not been listening? Oh, yeah. You had your phone turned off and enjoying the beach. Why do you think he's here? For God's sakes! Your folks are still in the hospital, that's why!
Wait a sec.
Well, luckily the accident wasn't fatal. Injury to the head, a severe concussion, but they are sedated now. Just hope there are no complications later on.
So this wasn't a prank. It was all true. Really? You said Memorial Hospital, right? I better get over there.
Too late for visits. Even if you did visit, they probably wouldn't want to see you. Visiting hours are over.
Huh? Why wouldn't they want to see me?
Before the accident, I talked to your folks about your affair. I wanted to get their advice on what I should do. Fortunately, they are of sound mind now. We were very worried at first, but thank God it turned out okay. They are completely aware that you didn't cut your vacation short and come rushing to their side. You can imagine how disappointed they were.
Huh? They know all about the trip? That I wasn't there for them?
That's right. Now that you unblocked me, let me get right down to it, if I may.
Right down to what?
The problem that we had before all this happened to your parents. The problem of your infidelity. Mr. James O'Connor, sales manager of the company you work at.
Huh? Why do you...
That's the guy who you're seeing, right? You're seeing this guy. James, was it? For 5 years or so. That means you've been seeing each other even before we got married. As a matter of fact, you knew each other before we even started dating.
Wait a second! Stop right there! I don't need to hear this!
I also know that Mr. O'Connor is a relative to the company's CEO. Apparently, people at the office knew of your relationship, but due to the consequences to their careers, if they even hinted about it, most kept their mouths shut. Seems I was your little puppet, a cover for you guys. A convenient loser to cover up your relationship.
But how did this get out?
Well, Mrs. O'Connor just couldn't keep quiet about it any longer. She long suspected her husband, but never really had any concrete proof. So, she hired a private investigator and gathered a considerable amount of evidence about you guys. You know what else? She also contacted me and provided me with all the evidence that she had collected.
Are you serious? He told me it was all okay, that nobody knew about us, that I had nothing to worry about.
Also, as I said earlier, I'm at your parents' home right now. When you were having fun, or should I say cheating on me at some beach resort, I got all my stuff packed up and out of that house.
Huh? You moved out? Why?
Obviously because we're getting divorced, that's why! Do you really expect me to continue living with you after you've been cheating on me for years and using me as some sort of pawn? You can't be serious! So, I moved all my stuff to my parents' place and drove over here. You're not gonna deny me the divorce, are you? I mean, I do have a lot of evidence about your affair. you're actually not in a very good position.
But I was only... Ugh, the heck with it. If it's all out in the open now and everyone knows, so be it. I love James and I always have. There, I said it. And needless to say, James loves me too. Yeah, divorce. Yeah, go for it. I don't give a damn. You want compensation, I suppose. Well, James will pay for that, no problem.
Oh yeah? Alright. So you have no objections about getting divorced and you're willing to pay compensation. Is that right?
Yeah. Let's just get this over with. I just got a text from James. Seems his wife also packed up and left him. Went to her parents' home, it seems. This means I have nowhere else to go but to his place. That's fine with me. Actually, that's what I wanted all along. Funny how things work out, huh? About the divorce papers. I'll sign that and send it to you later. Can I go now? Hey Randy, what's up? About that divorce. Let's forget about it. What do you say?
Huh? Excuse me?
Well, it seems James, he's no longer the sales manager.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Seems Mrs. O'Connor is the vice president of the parent company you work for or something, right?
Yeah. This is the first I'm hearing of it too.
You and James worked at the same marketing division, right? Is it really true that you guys would go on supposed sales visits, but then check into a motel or something? And not just once, but like every chance you got? It's a miracle you kept it secret for so long. The section chief was concerned about your schedule. He apparently suspected what you guys were up to. Guess you guys finally pissed off the wrong people. As for James, he got transferred to some far-off branch office somewhere. Weren't you also bumped down to administration? Doing filing work, right? Whew, big cut of your salary, I heard.
That's right. How could they? No way I can marry James anymore. That's for certain. And with this pay decrease, how am I supposed to survive? I can't pay compensation to you if I get divorced, so could we just, forget the whole thing?
Like nothing ever happened, huh? Just sweep it all under the rug.
That's right. That's exactly right. And it would be the best way to get my folks to forgive me. We make up and they'll let bygones be bygones. I'm sure of it. This would also be the best option for you too, right?
You're really pathetic.
Huh?
I can't believe you. Do you have your head on backwards? Don't you have any common sense? Let bygones be bygones? Give me a break!
But that's the only choice I have.
No matter how many times you apologize or plead for my forgiveness, I will never, ever forget what you did to me. And for that matter, to your folks. It's inconceivable to think that we would ever get back together again. I would rather die than do that.
Then what am I supposed to do from now on? What can I do to get back with you and to get out of paying the compensation?
Like I said, there is no such thing as getting back together again. Get that through your head. As for compensation, you'll pay that one way or another. I'll make sure of that.
Huh? But Randy, please.
The divorce is gonna happen one way or another. Mark my words. Same thing goes for the compensation. Get it through your head. You will pay the amount that my lawyer presented to you yesterday. Sorry, but there is no other option for you.
You're serious, aren't you? Please, Randy. Randy, are you there? Please pick up. Please help me. Let me stay at your place. Please. I brought some of my luggage. I'm right outside. Please let me in. And I also resigned from the company today. I'm not the old Andrea anymore. So let me in and I'll do my best to be a good housewife. I'll do anything you want. What do you say? Please, Randy, help me out. I mean, we did fall in love and marry, right? Please open the front door, would you? Randy, you there? I've been waiting out here for 30 minutes already. Where are you at? Please open up, would you?
Excuse me, but... Are you a stalker now? This is really creeping me out, to tell you the truth.
Huh? Stalker?
You stay any longer and I'm going to call the police.
Call the police? Your wife is just visiting your folks' place. What's wrong with that? No need to call the cops.
I already submitted the divorce papers.
Huh? You already submitted them?
Yeah. I was gonna wait until I received the first payment from you, but... Your brother felt really bad about this whole mess and paid the entire amount to me. On your behalf. You better work things out with him.
Huh? My brother? Really?
Don't think you're off the hook. He said he was gonna make you pay every cent back however long it takes.
He's going to make me pay it all back?
Oh, finally arrived.
Huh? What finally arrived?
That van your brother is driving? It just arrived in front of the house. Take a look behind you.
Huh? What the hell is this?
Your brother got one of his friends to find you a job. You should be grateful. You're leaving for a live-in job somewhere. Lucky you brought some of your stuff. I heard it's pretty far.
Why the hell is my brother even here?
You disappeared last week after all the ruckus. But we figured you'd show up here one of these days. So we were prepared for you. Actually, you got here sooner than expected. Glad you waited out there for 30 minutes. Gave him time to get here.
No, this is not happening. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna get back together with you and be a full-time housewife.
Are you still going on about that?
But you still love me, right? I mean, I certainly love you, Randy. The feeling is mutual, right?
Before I learned you were cheating on me, I had some affection for you, true. But now, I loathe you. I can't stand to even see you anymore.
Huh? Loathe me? You're kidding!
How could you be so surprised? After what you did to me, I never want to see you ever again!
But, please, Randy!
I always thought it was weird that she was so stuck on me. Guess they needed me as an alibi or some kind of convenient cover for her love affair. She figured she had me wrapped around her little finger to do as she pleased. She got me all wrong. I wasn't that stupid. As soon as she came crawling to my parents' place, figured it'd be about a week or so, I called her younger brother right away. He immediately came by, put her in his van against her will, and drove off. Several months after that, her parents were finally permitted to come home. They didn't return to their old home, but decided to buy a small apartment nearby, closer to the park and shopping center. They figured their daughter would come crawling back to them once her debts were paid. It'll probably take a few years at least, but you never know. They may even sell the place before long. Besides, it's only the two of them. They really don't need a huge house for themselves. As for me, I've been offered a position on the East Coast and figured I would move there with my folks. It would be a great change of scenery, and maybe down the line I'll meet someone special.
I heard that you guys are moving into a condominium. My son told me about it.
Oh, yeah, we've been looking at one for a while now, and we finally decided to move into it.
You better be thankful that my son is such a good guy. I feel so bad. He must have worked his butt off to make all that money to move into those rooms. It makes me tear up even thinking about what he must have gone through. I guess that it's true that there's light at the end of the tunnel. My son finally seeing the light after working so hard.
Yes, I think so too. It feels like a dream still. We've had no one to lay up against when it came to finances. It's been a long journey, starting from a one-bedroom home in the middle of nowhere out in the country.
Are you implying something right now? It feels like you're blaming me for not helping you guys out and resenting me because of it.
No, not at all. Of course, I'd be lying if I said that I'm not jealous of those newlywed couples who get help from their parents so they can move into a nice house. But we're just happy about the fact that you're here beside us without any complications with your help.
Is that so? I feel like I had to fish that out of you, but I'll believe it as you said. You're almost making it sound like you want me to move in with you guys.
That's not exactly what I meant, but of course we'd be happy to have you over anytime.
Wow, look at you get startled by what I just said. Is it that scary that I might come live with you guys? Mason's my only son. I don't have any other children other than him. And as his wife, you've never thought about the day that I'll come to live with you guys due to getting older? The more I get older, the more I lose my energy. Do you not feel bad that I'm starting to suffer with just being alive? My honest feelings are that I want to come live with you guys, get some help with living for the rest of my life, see you guys be good kids toward me, and enjoy being in the presence of my grandchildren.
Helen, you're only 65. There's nothing wrong with your health as of now. Don't you think that it's a little too early to be talking about us taking you in?
You are sounding a little condescending with your words. Don't you feel it yourself? Do I need to be sick and old to move in with my son? You already don't want me to live with you guys when I'm still healthy and able to move around on my feet by myself. How could I be so sure that you'd want to take me in with my son if I got sick and so old that I can't even move on my own? Am I wrong about this? I can already hear you brainstorming and rolling around trying to figure something out so that you won't have to let me live with you guys.
That's not what I'm doing right now. It's just not easy to add another person to the family because we haven't done that since day one. The reason why we moved over here is that we needed a bigger house. The kids are getting older and older. After they hit puberty, they've been being headstrong about wanting their rooms. So I had to give each of them their own room. There aren't any other rooms left open for you to move in.
Be quiet! In what world do people not have the same problems that you do? Do you need to come up with all these excuses and say this and that, all because you don't want me to come live with you guys? Can you not be a little more open-minded and just accept that your mother-in-law wants to come live with you? What I don't understand is why you're so nosy about what I want to do with my son. Is it wrong that a mother wants to come live with her son in his house? What a disgrace! I wonder if people born in your generation all go to the same school to learn how to talk back to their elders. They think their elders are a joke and have no respect for them these days. It's so shameful to watch.
I'm trying to explain to you what the situation is looking like and why it's a little difficult for you to move in. But if you're just going to disregard and ignore whatever I say, what am I supposed to do? You're going as far as to insult me, making me look like some person who doesn't care about people who need some help. Also, it's not just your son's house. It's also the wives' and the children's house, too. I'll try to talk about it with Mason and the kids and see what they think. I'll text you back.
Make sure you raise those children right and teach them manners and good morals. You think you'll stay young forever, don't you? But don't get it wrong. The next thing you know, as soon as you get caught up, you'll find out that you've become an old grandma. Don't be lazy with raising my grandchildren right and keep an eye on them. Do you understand?
I'm an ordinary woman who's been married for the past 20 years. My husband and I have 2 kids, one in high school and the other in middle school. When I first got married, I was afraid of my mother-in-law because she's always been like a tiger, fierce and stubborn. I couldn't even make eye contact with her back then. Whenever there would be important holidays like Thanksgiving, I'd have my firstborn in my arms and the other on my back, making food and preparing for the holidays. I'd do the same for Helen's birthdays too. Not only that, but she'd make me show up twice every single week and help her clean around the house, make food, and do the laundry. There were many days when she'd make me hand wash the laundry, including her underwear. I thought that was what everybody did back then, and I felt bad that Helen had to be widowed at a fairly young age because my father-in-law passed away early on in my marriage. I tried my best to do everything in her favor so that she won't fall into depression or feel lonely after his death. However, my children grew more and more as time passed by, and when that happened, my husband and I decided that it was best for me to start working because the expenses were becoming bigger and bigger. I asked Helen if she could babysit them just for the time being that I'm at work, but she refused my request on the spot. She told me, "You had those kids, so you take care of them. Are you in your right mind to ask your old mother-in-law to babysit 2 kids?" She openly showed that she didn't want to help me out with that, but I let it slide because I tried to understand where she was coming from. After all, everyone has their problems in their lives. Whenever I think about those days when I would work at a factory all day while taking care of 2 children, it makes me tear up. Even though Helen has been pretty unhelpful in that aspect, I still wanted to show my gratitude to her and send her $1,000 to her bank account every month. When she would tell me that she was sick or somewhere hurts her body, I'd throw everything aside and take her to the hospital and keep her company. But now that I don't want her to move in with us into her home, she wants to forget about everything that she did to me and the things that I did for her, and make me look like the bad daughter-in-law. As I was thinking about how to deal with this, I came back home from work one day to find that Helen had moved into our house with all of her stuff in her hand. "Mason, when you get off work, can you come straight back home? Your mom told me that you've given her permission to move into our house. Is this true? She's here now."
Well, what was I supposed to tell her? I can't say no to her moving in when she's old and weak.
You should have at least talked about it with me. What am I supposed to do with her when she just comes into our home all unexpectedly?
Why are you talking like that? It's as if she bombarded our home or something. Is this how you talk about your mother-in-law?
There are only 3 rooms in this house. We used one of them, and Evie and Jonah used the other 2. Where is she gonna sleep?
Then just make Jonah and Evie share the rooms together. If they use one of the rooms together and have my mom use the other, what's the big deal?
How can you make 2 siblings, already in their teenage years, share a room? They're too big now to be sharing a room.
Then what do you want me to do about it? Just have mom sleep in the living room for tonight then.
And you're fine with letting an elderly person sleep in the living room? How about we let her sleep in our room for tonight? We can sleep in the living room.
Hell no, I can't sleep on that couch. Just tell mom to sleep on the couch in the living room. I'm busy right now, so stop bugging me, and I'll see you later at home. See you.
Mason! Helen, can you please open this door? I know you're inside the house. Why did you change the locks to the door? I don't think I need to explain to you how rude and ridiculous that is.
I changed it to not have you inside of the house. Don't you get it?
What are you talking about? Why can't I go inside of my own house with my own free will?
Whose house are you calling this? This is my son's house that he bought with his money. You've been able to live like a queen or whatever thanks to my son working like a slave out there, and you wanted to have the audacity of making your mother-in-law sleep in the living room? I have never heard of such a thing happening. You do me dirty like that and want to come back into the house? No, I don't approve of that at all. Get out of here. Also, I need you to get a divorce from my son. I can't live with a wretch like you. You treated me like a peasant, and I don't appreciate that. I have no business dealing with a bug like you, so get out of my sight.
I get that you're upset and angry at me, but this is way too much. How can you say something like that? I don't think you're starting to catch dementia at that age, so what is going on with you? I've had enough, and lived enough. Besides, my kids are already in high school and middle school. I'm not going to tear up and cry when you yell at me anymore. I'm not that same daughter-in-law that said, "Yes, ma'am," if you told me to get out of the house like I used to. It's unbelievable that you'd act out like this just because you had to sleep in the living room for one night. It's astonishing. What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to make you sleep with my husband in our room?
What's so wrong with that? Is it that weird that a mom sleeps with her son in the same bed as him? Is there a law saying that I can't do that? Also, do you think that I'm being like this because you made me sleep in the living room last night? I've never thought of you as my daughter-in-law. Not once, ever since 20 years ago when you got married to Mason. What did you do for me until now? You've never given me anything more expensive than $200 on my birthday, and for my 60th birthday you gave me $3,000 and called it a day. Other people get to go on trips and travel the world because their son and their daughter-in-law do them justice. But you've done nothing like that for me. You've never even done or given me anything worthwhile.
I've never gone traveling like that in my whole life either. If you wanted to, shouldn't you make the money yourself to do that? When Mason and I got married, you were just 45. You haven't worked a single day as far as I know ever since. I've given you $1,000 each month even though my family's also struggling. Why are you dismissing that part?
Everybody does that for their in-laws. Don't act like you're doing me a huge favor. Anyway, I stand by what I said. I can't live with you anymore, so get divorced from Mason and get out of this house. There can only be one breadwinner in the household, and there can't be more than one woman in the kitchen. There can't be two suns up in the sky. So you get out of this house. I'm going to enjoy my life with my grandchildren, which are our bloodline. So dismiss yourself while you are permitted to.
I don't think I want to do that.
What did you just say?
I was the one that made most of the money to move into this house. It was the result of my going to the factory and working for the last 16 years. I didn't spend any money on anything that wasn't needed. This house is under my name, which I bought with my own money. How can you tell the owner of the house to leave?
What? Why are you claiming that this house is yours? Mason told me that the house was under his name. I'm sure of it.
I guess he wanted to show off since he's the man or whatever, and you took it in just as he said it. I'm going to repeat myself one more time, but I bought this house with my money. Mason only helped out with a small portion of it.
Now you're just flat out lying. How much money could you have made working at a factory to get into a condominium? My son is the one that goes to work at a big company and makes the big bucks. There's no way that it was you that made the money, so stop lying and making a fool out of yourself.
Your son is all bark and no talk. He's no more or less than that. When he gets his paycheck, all he contributes to the family is $500, and he even makes me give you the $1,000 out of my paycheck. I must be the only wife in this entire world who's never even seen a picture of her husband's paycheck statement. I didn't want to get divorced because I didn't want my kids to become fatherless. I made all of the money to get the kids their clothes to wear, food to eat, and supplies to buy for school. I saved up every little penny that I could to get this house. Do you get it now?
Is that true? Well, then where did all of that money that Mason makes go to?
Why are you asking me that? Go ahead and ask the greatest son alive in existence where he put all that money. I asked him if he could chip in just $1,000, but he refused right off the bat and said he has no money saved up at all. I don't understand how you raised him, but he has no idea what saving and budgeting are. I want to ask you what happened on that part.
There's no way that's true. Mason is the smartest and the most deep, thoughtful person that I know.
There were many times that I wanted to leave this useless man, but I let it slide because of our kids. But now it's different. I'm glad that you brought it up. If you want me to get divorced from him, then so be it. I'll agree to get a divorce with him, so please kindly hold your son's hand and get out of my house.
What did you just say? Is this how you talk to your mother-in-law? Where am I supposed to go anyway?
I don't care about that. If you want to go live in the streets or find a shelter, go ahead and find one. Once Mason and I get divorced, you'll be nothing but just some old granny on the streets. So I'll call you just that. You selfish and psychopathic woman. Stop acting as if you rule over me because you don't anymore at least. Take your belongings and leave. If you don't want to end up in jail and eat slop for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, please get out of my house now.
Wait just a minute, June. I don't understand what's going on. This is not what I expected was going to happen. I think there might be some misunderstanding going on. How can you get divorced from Mason? You have 2 kids with each other. Don't you think that's a little too hasty? Can't you see how difficult it is to live and work as a single woman with 2 kids? Just look at me. I've struggled so much after your father-in-law passed away. I think I got a little too full of myself because I wanted to live in a nice condo in a big room. I understand that I overstepped my place a little. So, could you forgive me this one time? I'll take my stuff and go back to my house now. So, please don't get divorced from Mason.
No, I don't think so. Mason has been of no help ever since the beginning. It doesn't matter, and it never did if he was present or not. The kids are pretty much all grown enough to understand what business we have going on over here, and I'm sure that they'll understand where I'm coming from. I'm not afraid of anything. I'll give your son back to you, so have fun with him and live a beautiful life. After everything that happened, I got divorced from Mason and even got custody of both of my kids. Mason refused to get a divorce with me and tried his best to stay inside of the house, but I asked him to quit being an embarrassment to our kids. Evie and Jonah even got on him about how he should just let Mom go. He's already done enough to have put Mom through a hard time. He seemed to give up when he heard his own children's disappointment towards him and went ahead to get a divorce from me. He went back and started living with Helen, but not even a month later I got a call from Helen about how he would only give her $300 a month to live off of. He was using the rest of the money for his good. Lord knows what he's doing with that money. She got tired of him very quickly and asked me to get remarried to him and take him back in. However, I was stern with her and refused to get remarried to Mason. I mean, at the end of the day, who'd want to take in a man that not even his mother wants to take in? Either way, now that I got rid of the 2 most stressful factors in my life, I've been able to enjoy the freedom that I've gained back. I'm living a very peaceful and ordinary life with my 2 kids, working hard as usual.